all it takes is just one wrong move and you could lose it all. So I woke up this morning, you know, and I said to my girl, why do I keep having these mad dreams about doing a madness? I'm not even going to say, but you can fill in the blanks. Doing a madness and going into jail for a very long time. Like, I keep having these dreams and that. It can't just be me though. Told my brethren today, he phoned me today, chatted to my brethren, and he said, yeah, he has them kind of dreams there, them nightmares really. And I said to him, do you know what? It might just be a case of, if you've been to jail before, maybe that's just like your worst nightmare, having to be locked in a cell for a very long time, and you get me wasting your life away, innit? So boom. So he said to me, like, you got properties and that. Cause he said, you need to be careful, innit? All it takes is one punch and certain man can dead man, you know. I've seen it. I've seen news reports and that. You know, them white boys there, just they all go out with their bridges and that. They just go out on the piss. Just normal white boy named Alan and that. He sees his friend getting into a little altercation with a man, and he punched a man and he killed him. One bang, you know, because you might lick a man and he might crack his head on the pavement and that, and he's dead. So my brother said, blood, you need to be careful, you know, only takes one punch, you know. And he's like, so obviously you got properties and that. Like, what would happen to your properties if you went to jail? I said, boy. He's like, what would, like, would they get rented out or whatever in it? Yeah, would you lose them and that? I said, boy, to be fair, obviously my flat around the corner, I've got tenants in there, innit, yeah. And obviously man's got the place patterned up. My tenants, they're basically shook a man, innit, yeah. Not even just them. Every tenant that I've had in my life, they've always paid their rent on time because I'm built a certain way and that. But if I'm in jail, who's gonna be able to enforce that? Yeah, it's all well and good them being shook and having high levels of respect for you when you're out on road and you're in a position where you could turn up there and that, innit? But if they know you're in jail for some mad long periods of time and that, even if it was just 3 years, forget about even getting 20 years. If you're in jail for 3 years, they might say, you know what? He ain't coming out for the next 2 years or whatever. And if they find out, if they get to drop that and they know how long you're going to be in jail for, innit? You know, but I ain't paying rent and that. Who's going to be able to enforce that? Because I couldn't rely on my gal or my mum to enforce and make sure that the rent is being paid and that. They're not built like man. They ain't got man's presence and that. My girl could all go there and say, yeah, you need to pay the rent and that, but she ain't built like man. My mum's not built like man. So they might not respect it. Don't get it twisted. There's tellers out here, they don't really care if someone's a hard iron fist ruler or they're a soft person. They're gonna pay their rent regardless of that. But me, I couldn't rely on no one to enforce the thing the way that I could. So potentially, if I went to jail and that for a very long time over doing something mad, I could lose both my properties. I'm gonna have a third one. Now my girl did say to me, because basically man got into some trouble about a year ago and that. And get me, man had to set some people straight. You get me? They ain't not calling the police. This is the thing, yeah. People will run their mouth, you will fix them, and then they will call the police. Well, if you just keep your mouth shut or be diplomatic and polite and that, you wouldn't have put yourself in a position where you could get fixed and that. So anyway, police come to my yard, pull out taser and them things there and handcuff man and put man in the cell. And I'm literally sitting there thinking like, blood, you never know, yeah, because but the allegations was mad, where like you could go jail for 6 months. It weren't just a fisting thing, innit? There was other things. And before this video comes out, I probably will release the other video anyway, innit? So you'll find out some of the details and that, anyway. So boom, I'm sitting in the cell in the police station, and I just think to myself like, blood, I could lose my properties, you know. If they wanted to just put man on remand for 2-3 months or whatever, innit? Yeah, blood, I could potentially lose my properties and that. Because if the mortgage is not getting paid, yeah, remember, like, all my money is in my business account. I need to transfer money on a regular basis to my personal account, which gets paid. So money goes from my business account to my personal account, and there I pay my mortgages and that. Well, if there's no money in my personal account, how are my mortgages going to get paid and that? Now, my girl did say to me, listen, if you ever went jail, God forbid, I'll pay your mortgages for you and that. But still, I can't rely on no one else apart from me to service my mortgages and that. I can't rely on some tenants to pay my mortgage and that if I'm not out here and available to turn up to the door and kick them out and that. So literally, man, sitting in a cell thinking, blood, this is long, fam. Now, obviously, man didn't mean to, you get me, for the situation to kick off at that. But these are the situations that you put yourself in if you get in trouble, man. If you got a lot to lose, you can lose everything. One wrong move. Now, obviously, if you work at Asda and you get me, ain't got nothing going for you, then you don't need nothing to worry about, innit? Yeah, keep doing your foolishness and that, innit? But if you got stuff to lose and that, a good career, whatever, innit? Yeah, mortgages and that, a business that you're running, man need to be careful. Man need to think things through. It's easy when a violation happens, like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go and pull out this and go and done this person and that. And it's like, rah, brother, you need to wait, you know, because, you get me? If you get caught on that, you could be going to jail for a very long time and losing everything that you've built up over this one punk that's running his mouth, fam. Yeah, it's not nice sitting in the cell thinking that, blood. Cause me, I'm a man of control. Not a control freak, although my girl will say, oh, you're a control freak and that. But me, I'm a man, I run my life, yeah? I built my life and I control my life, innit? Yeah? So I don't like the fact that I'm sitting in a cell where I've not got control over nothing. Literally, you're behind an iron door and you're not getting let out until someone allows you out. Literally. If imagine something happened, yeah, where there was a country evacuation. That if I was locked in that cell, someone didn't open up that door, I'll be locked in there until I'm dead. Literally, you cannot get through that iron door and that. So literally, man's controlling your freedom and that. It's madness. It's madness. So man, I need to be careful, man. Wanna get me fly off the handle, wanna do something to someone, blood, you can end up losing everything. You can't rely on no one else to be paying your mortgages and that. I almost got 3 properties now. I'm in the process of buying my 3rd in this country. I can't rely on my girl or my mum to pay the mortgages and that. You know what I'm saying? It's not their job to. Yeah, it's all well and good them helping man out and that, but it's not their job to. So, yeah, man, literally one wrong move and you can lose it all, man. Man, then think before you act, innit? Like one of my subscribers and that, I ain't gonna say his name and that, but man, been chatting to him on Instagram. He got nicked the other day because he had some trust me to be attracting man them who is landlords who is setting pace on their tenants and that. So man got a subscriber and that something happened in it. I think that the tenant was a bit rude to him, and he's the landlord and that. And I think the landlord, who's my subscriber, must have put his hands on the tenant and he got nicked for it and that, innit? Yeah. Trust me to attract people like that to my thing. But yeah, you never know. Imagine a man went to jail for a year or something. A man could potentially lose his property and that. Because the banks who are the lenders, Santander or Nationwide or Barclays or Birmingham Midshares or West Brom, they don't want to be taking on your property and having to manage your property. They're lenders. They lend money. They're not estate agents. Yeah? And forget about the jail thing. Just normal. Yeah, you're not in jail. You're on road doing whatever you're doing. You're being a normal civilian, law-abiding citizen and that. You don't want estate agents to manage your property and that for you. You do it yourself. Because yeah, they always run all these credit checks and that. But blood, when the tenant says that they're not paying rent or they fail to pay the rent, they're not going to be turning up to their door aggressively. Then you can have all these stupid contracts in place and that, tenancy agreement and that. I've seen some stuff online, yeah, where like there's one program called Nightmare Tenant Slum Landlords, and I've seen like the tenants get aggressive, like basically shouting in a man's face and headbutting a man, basically getting physical with the estate agent and that. Obviously, when that tenant took over the property, initially he signed the form of tenancy agreement to say that he's going to pay the rent on time, yeah, and abide to the code of conduct and them things there, innit, yeah, abide by the laws and the rules of the property and that. That all goes out the way when the tenant decides, oh, I'm not paying rent and that. When my man was squaring up to him and headbutting him and that, you think that guy cared about any tenancy agreement? Tenancy agreement don't mean nothing, man. Don't mean nothing. That's why I'll never, if I can help it, I ain't getting no estate agent to manage my property and that. Because I'm just one of 50. Yeah, they're not turning up to no door aggressively trying to demand rent and that. They'll just let you know, oh, the tenant's not paying rent, and keep it moving. Yeah, man. If you can, man, do it yourself, innit, yeah? if you don't want to manage tenants and that, then just buy properties, renovate them and sell them on, innit? Yeah, don't get into the renting game and that if you're not built a certain way. Me, I'm built a certain way. Yeah, like I said, man's a hard iron fist ruler and that. Man have a presence about me. My tenants, them, they shook a man. They shook a man. But a man don't go in there and be bossy and, you get me, and talk to them a certain way. No, man's polite and that, but they know. They know they can't test me, innit? They know they can't play around with me, innit? Yeah, like, they could never even try and get rude to me, and I'll stick it straight on them and that. Like I said, I say all the time, said it before, I'ma say it now, I'ma say it again in the future, innit, yeah? The first thing I say to the tenants then when they come to view the property, or at least at some point whilst they're viewing the property, is if you fail to pay the rent, I'll serve you a notice and you have to leave. If you're scared to say that to one of your tenants or a potential tenant and that, because you feel like it's going to scare them away or whatever, you're not a confrontational person, then you may as well put a for sale, a free rent sign outside your yard. Yeah, you can't be afraid of confrontation. Running a property, being a landlord, you need to be a confrontation. But that don't mean you have to fist anyone up, you know. Don't get it twisted. And I don't mean you have to have an aggressive shouting match and that, ain't it? Yeah, but you need to be able to deal with awkward situations and that. It's all about man management. You see me, I see my property as a business. The property is the workplace, the establishment. The tenants are the employees. And the landlord, me, I'm the manager. I have to pattern them up. They need to know that they need to respect me and do what I say when I say it. If not, I'm going to get rid of you. But being a landlord is only for certain people, innit? Yeah, like literally, man's born to do this thing. Or at least man possesses the personality that I got like an air of authority about me, innit? So, yeah, man. Like I said, I've said in many videos, I said to my friend today, man's been doing this landlord thing for a long time and that. On and off and that. But no one's never failed to pay the rent. No one's failed to pay the rent ever. They've all paid their rent on time. I even had a man who, let's say for example, it's July. He's going away in August, but then he wants to transfer me like August and September's rent or whatever, innit? Yeah, he wanted to give me 2 months rent because when he was coming back, he might not be back in time. He just wanted to make sure that there was going to be no issues with him paying the rent and that, because he'll be in another country, innit? That's how serious I was about paying rent, that my tenants would give me 2 months rent instead of a month's rent when they knew they was going on holiday and that, because they did not want to fail to pay the rent. You think that guy that was squaring up to the landlord and shouting in his face, or sorry, the estate agent that was shouting in his face, you think he was transferring 2 months rent? That guy wasn't even transferring that month's rent or the previous month's rent. But yeah, man, one wrong move and you can lose it all. Stay wise, done now.